Now, building your 2021 photography business plan. I know when you hear things like business, when you hear things like plan, your mind goes like, what the hell is going on? I'm not a tech savvy and all of those things that you really want to think about. But let's just think about this just like we do any other shoot that we want to do. It's going to be just as simple as possible. We are guiding our way through. But there are a few things that we want to think about first before we dive deep into the issues. If you want to find me, I'm on every social media platform with a name Kobby Catalyst, KOBBYKATLIST. Normally, these kind of things, we do it on the shop. And the shop is a program that is organized by Ghanaian. And we normally did it every year, but this year we couldn't. One, because I wasn't in Ghana. Two, because there was COVID. But then we still moved. We decided to put this together for the end of year so that people still have it in mind that the shop still exists. So let's just dive in. A few things that we need to note is we've met milestones, 2 crazy milestones that I never thought that we would get to before this time. And the first one is that we have 100 subscribers, more than 100 though. Today it's like 104, 105, which is crazy. It's marvelous, and I really appreciate you guys. I thank you guys so much. We've also surpassed the 700 views. And these were targets that I was thinking would happen somewhere next year, but it happened so quickly. So I really appreciate you guys, and thank you so much. If you have anything at all, you can put it in the comments. Remember, these are the few guidelines or the guidance that we are going to approach in this discussion. One, this is a discussion. Yes, Gershon, I promised you a photo walk, and then you still have to wait for it. It's going to happen. Now, this is going to be a discussion. It's not going to be me lecturing. It's not going to be me being a teacher. We are guiding each other towards having the best possible way of having a business plan for 2021. So this is a discussion. That's the first one. The first tip you should know is this is a discussion. The second tip you should know is that each person must share ideas. Don't be so selfish. Don't keep whatever you know to yourself. Try as much as possible to share it for everyone, because we are here, we are in it together. We just want to build a business. Remember, it's just like anything. You can't walk alone. You'll never walk alone. I'm not a Liverpool fan, but that is one of the best things that I've learned, that you can never do or achieve anything alone. If you want to go fast, you can walk alone, but if you want to go far, you walk in a group. And that's the whole essence of sharing ideas on YouTube whenever we can and whenever it's possible. The third thing is no one is wrong unless they are wrong. And I say this in the sense that there's nothing like a wrong answer. There's nothing like a wrong contribution unless you're factually wrong. If you're factually wrong, we will advise that you do not put it out here, because we want as much as possible to live in a way that will be useful to each other in this discussion. So much being said, I've spoken so much, too much talking. It's like a Sunday preaching over here, but look, let's go straight to the point. But remember, if you guys have not watched it, you can go back and then you watch it. If you remember, we had a session we talked about the 2021 business plan. If you've not watched that video after this session, you can go back, watch it. It's like a revision of whatever we are going to discuss. And I promise that over this weekend, we're going to have this discussion. We're talking about the business plan. I told you guys to take your pen and paper, but some people say they use the tablet, they use their phone. So that's fine. You can do with that. Now, we are looking at the sessions of a business plan. What goes into a business plan? I really want everyone to put pen and paper to it, because I want us to get to that point where we can refer. I have my book here. that I write in, it's empty because I'm here to also take ideas from everyone. So please, you guys shouldn't be quiet on me. I know a lot of people like being quiet and listening, but this is not a quiet and listening session. This is the session where everyone has to contribute. So just a recap, if you've not watched that video, you can watch it after this. We said the sections of a business plan. The first one is the executive summary. And then the second one is the market opportunity, where we spoke about quite a few things. We'll go in depth into it as we build our business plan. The third one is a product or service that you are bringing into the market. The fourth one is the pricing or the revenue. What's the pricing structure? What's the revenue stream that you're looking out for to get out of this? Now, the next one is your target audience. You're looking at your target audience. You're looking at, well, how are you going to be able to get yes, Kevano, you've gone for it, huh? All right. So how are you going to get your target audience? Who are your target audience? Who are the people you want to please or appease? Who are the people you want to attract to your business? Now, the sixth one, which is the marketing strategy, which this is a big deal for a lot of people because I saw it in the comment section, a lot of people talking about marketing. Over the following, probably within the whole of next week, that's one thing that we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about the marketing strategies. Kevano is asking a question if this video will be available. I know people like Ganani, Evans, and the rest will be helping me in the comment section. So if you see me glance over your comments, which relates to something about YouTube, I know my goons will be able to respond to you. So yes, this video will be available after the session. So marketing strategy, that's something that we'll be looking at a lot for the whole of next week, heading towards the new year, because it's something, or should I say this week, because it's already Sunday. The last one is the financials. I wouldn't want you to waste so much on the financials because the financials will come by itself. And when I say financials, I'm not talking about ordinarily a business plan's financials. It's all about the figures, the income, cost, forecast, all of those nice, interesting stuff. But that's not what we want to do. I just want us to create a document that we can look on as the months go by in 2021. So we are going to dive straight in. Our approach is simple. Who thinks this should be the right approach to use? The SMART approach. If you know what the SMART approach is, you can just put it in the comment. I want to see how many people are in line with me. So if you know what a SMART approach is, I want you to put it right down there in the comment description. I'm waiting to see the first 4 people that are going to put in what SMART means, the SMART approach to setting goals. Welcome, Nia and AJ. All right, so I'm waiting. SMART approach. Everyone said simple. I'm waiting 2 more people, or let me say 4 more people, and then we go. Attainable. All right. Evans is becoming the class prefect of the day, and I love that. Nia and AJ, you are losing your class prefectship because someone is taking over from you guys. Well, simple, measurable, attainable. 2 more. Come on, guys. Evans is not the only one who's supposed to be talking here. I need to see more people talking. Hello, Jaya. Welcome. 2 more. Timely. Queen said timely. So we have one more, R. What R means? What does R mean? Okay. So whilst we wait for someone to search for the R, maybe the person who gets the R, I'll get it to the person's live or find a way of dashing. Realistic. Great. So that's exactly. Now, number one, S means it has to be specific. So yes, Evans almost got it there, but S means specific. I know I also made a terrible mess of myself in the previous video. S means it has to be specific, it has to be measurable, it has to be attainable, it has to be reliable, and it has to be time bound. It has to be timely. So unlike just saying that I want to be a president or I want to be a prime minister, we want to be specific. What exactly are the things or the steps you want to take? Now we'll get into a discussion part where we take each one and then we have a dummy. So today I'm going to put together a dummy business plan of someone who wants to go into newborn photography. So this is what we are going to do. Every discussion, everything that you put out there on that paper, it has to be specific. It has to be something you can measure with time. It has to be something you can accomplish, you can attain. It has to be something which is reliable. It has to be time bound because you are looking at 2021. Time bound. It shouldn't be something that you set and then the next day you want to change it. So let's go to executive summary. This is the part where we are going to go into detail because we are going to start the discussion and we are starting it right here. So executive summary, overview of your company. So what do? We want to talk about the overview of the company. So the first thing is, what kind of business are you going into? What kind of photography do you want to do? Or what kind of photography are you doing right now? So this is both for starters and those who are already in the business. So let me just go back out and then we start writing in here. So overview of your company. As I said, I'm going to talk about it from the standpoint of me being a newborn photographer. So newborn photography. Let's go. What I'm going to do is I'll be sharing this link or this particular slides with everyone so that you can use this. You can use this to you'll be able to use this particular one to write your own. So we'll be sharing this with everyone. I'll put the link in there in the description and then you'll be able to do it. So as I said the last time, the overview of the company, you put it there. You can start with, this is a photography company focused on shooting newborn babies between the ages of 1 day to 14 days. So you have to make sure that it's what? Specific. You are making sure it's specific. Is it measurable? Can you be able to do it? Yes. You can shoot newborn babies. Is it attainable? Yes. Is it something that you'll be able to, is it realistic? Is it time bound? Can you start it? Yes. So I will put it there that this is a photography business which is focused on shooting fashion catalogs and shooting for fashion houses as well as magazines and as well as commercial stuff. You put it right there, make sure that it's very, very specific and it's measurable. Now, the second thing you want to ask yourself is your unique value position. What's the reason why? Why do you think that you are much valuable to be able to perform this service? So by saying that, we are talking about, if you want to go into newborn, what do you have that gives you the capability of being able to perform that? The first thing you ask yourself every time is, I want to be a photographer. Do I have the creative eye? What makes me think that I have the creative eye? You just put it there because you are trying to make sure that you have confidence in who you are as a person and what you add. And this goes with any other business as well. So the first thing I will put there, my unique value proposition, is because I want to go into corporate headshot. And why do I think I can be able to do that? The reason being that I've been able to work in the corporate world for 7 years, and I know exactly what is demanded of a picture which is going to be used by a company. Or I have been to several weddings and I know how weddings work in a specific location. Let's say Accra, you know how weddings work. Or let's say you are in Toronto, you know how the wedding ceremonies work. You understand the language that the people speak. So it's easy for you to interact and you know who is what and what they do. Or let's say you are going into newborn, because you are a nurse or you've been in the nursing profession or you've been in the biological science world, you are able to bring that unique perspective to that. You are just putting it there to see if you are lacking any specific skill that you have to upgrade. Remember, this business plan doesn't specifically mean that you know everything. It means that you want to see where you are now. Do you know, what do you know, and what do you have to learn? So that's the whole idea of the unique value proposition. You're putting yourself in the spot where this is what I know, this is what I have to learn. Remember, if you have any questions, you can put them in the comment section. I'll make sure I tackle as much as possible. Now, the next thing you want to know is, are you working with a team? If you are working with a team, you give the same overview, the same unique proposition to each team member. What exactly do they bring to the table? What do you have already that you don't need a team member? Because let's say you are a nurse, you're able to handle these kids or these babies. Do you really need to go get somebody to handle them if you can do them yourself? No. So this unique value proposition makes you understand whether you actually need a team or not. Because sometimes we feel like we've seen a wedding crew going to shoot a wedding. They had 4 photographers. So if I start my wedding business, then I need to have 4 photographers going with me. Maybe not. Maybe you only need 1 or you only need 2. Maybe they have 4 because they have their uncles or their cousins and nephews in there, and they are trying to provide them with some source of revenue. So these are how you put your executive summary. You are putting your company in a position where you are evaluating exactly what you want or what you have. I hope you're okay with the executive summary because I'm moving on to the next one. I want us to be sure that we are right within the right time frame. So Queen ni Jaya, Ghana, ni Evans, Freedom. I hope you guys are okay. Or you're writing too much on paper. You don't need to write a lot. Let me be very clear because I'm going to share these slides with everyone. Now, the second part is you are going to the market opportunity. Now, you are going to sit back, look into the market. And this is what establishes or differentiates different kinds of photographers. The first thing you are going to look at is, what is the current industry? And what exactly is the gap in the industry? So let me give you guys a story. in 2017, I was in dire need of cash because I had to find a way of paying my rent and all of the good stuff that comes with building a life as a young person. So I happened to be in a WhatsApp group called Event Pros. And every day, day in, day out, I kept seeing people that were arguing, event vendors. The vendors were always arguing with photographers and video guys. When you guys come shoot an event, you don't give us the pictures of the decor, you don't do all of that. So I sat back and then I looked at the event industry as a whole. And then I was like, wait. So if the photographers are saying that first we need to satisfy the client, which is the couple, before we look at any other vendor because it's the couple that is paying us, then what is the gap? So the gap I found was that there was no timeliness between when the event happens and when these decor or these event planners get images to post of the event. So what I did was to find an opportunity, create a product. So I created decor photography specifically just for decor photography and marketed it out to them. And I was like, you know what? This Friday or this Saturday, I'm available to shoot 5 decor people for free. So what I did was I got 4 people that I shot that weekend, shot some of the best fantastic decors I've ever shot. And then I came to put those images in the group after I shared it with them. Some of them paid me. In fact, 3 out of the 4 paid me for the services. And what that created was people seeing that, one, the images got to the event planners on a timely basis. And number 2, there was no issue like, well, I have to give it to the couple first because I was working directly with the vendors. So this created a whole new avenue. And right after I put it in the group, every other event planner started contacting me. So it got to a point where I was shooting 6, 7, 8, 9, sometimes even 11 decor setups on a weekend. So you realize that I looked at the industry, I found a gap, and then I realized what product or what service will I be able to push into that market. And that created the market opportunity for me. If I wasn't in the WhatsApp group, I wouldn't know about it. So that's just one of the stories. So first, you have to look at your current industry. Look at things this way. There is a pandemic right now, right? And it's crazy. People are freaking out. But then there is one particular opportunity, especially for those who shoot weddings and events. The event grounds are empty now. No one is going there. Now, this is the opportunity for them to create images for post-pandemic of their event space. Have you guys found the gap in there to write to them and say, hey, look, I know you guys are tight now. There is no event going on whatsoever, but can we look towards the future post-pandemic? I can give you guys a nice discount of 50% because I want to capture your event grounds so that you can use the images as well for your post-pandemic advertising, because once things open up again, people like to book for events and then you can use these images. So this is my package. I'm going to give you this discount so you use it. You realize how it's created that particular industry. Now, when we get to pricing or revenue stream, I'm going to bring back this example and then I'm going to explain how you'll be able to make serious cash out of this kind of opportunity. Now, secondly, you have companies. A lot of companies have closed down. Their workers are working at home. This is the opportunity for them to create content for their website. This is the opportunity for real estates to take pictures of real estate opportunities, commercial real estate, in order to advertise for post-pandemic. Now, when you are looking at the industry from this point, then what are you doing? You're finding the gap, and then you're also finding the products that will fill those gaps. So it's like a win-win situation when you come to market opportunity. You have to think outside the box. And one way you can do that is to look at the constituents of a business plan. Who is the business plan for? Sometimes we say the business plan is for ourselves, but no. The business plan is actually looking at your business from the perspective of the market. What does the market really want? Because remember, you're doing marketing, you're not doing sale. Sale is simple. When you have a lot of people standing online or sitting on YouTube or sitting on IG or Facebook saying, I'm a wedding photographer, book me for your wedding. That's sales. But then when you're able to attract people to say that, look, I want your product because you do this different than the rest, that is marketing. Now, if you remember, there is this particular scene which I always come back to. That's the Wolf of Wall Street. He says something that, sell me this pen. He's trying to say, market this pen to me, not make a sale. So you have to look at market opportunity from that side. Sit back, look at the industry, and look at the gap and see which products fill which gap. And that is the way you go about it. If you have any question about market opportunity, you can put it there, and then we will address it as we go on. The next one is, which goes hand in hand with the market opportunity, is you found a gap. You've seen the products or you've seen a service that can actually fill that gap. Now you're going to sit back and look into detail of that particular product or that particular service. So as I said, I realized there was a gap between what photographers or video guys and then the event planners. What was happening? They were not getting their pictures on time, or they were not even getting their pictures in the long run. So I decided, okay, I have this service I can provide, which is decor photography. But then, how do I plan it? So the first thing I go is, well, if I'm providing them with pictures, how many pictures am I providing them? How long am I going to stay? Because you can't be everywhere at the same time. So how are you going to charge? Are you going to look at including transportation into your fees or stuff like that? So the best way is, I came up with a 30 minutes. I will spend the 30 minutes to shoot your decor, maximum 1 hour, and then I'll charge my hourly rate plus a premium a little bit, which placed me in a very good position, because once you get there, they are ready, and then you take your pictures and then you go. So you describe the product or the service at this point. You put it right there in the description. What kind of product are you going to give them? Well, I'm going to give them 10 retouched images, or I'm going to give them a catalog, or I'm going to give them this amount of pictures. I'm going to be there for this duration. I'm going to provide them with this particular license. How long can they use the images? When are they supposed to renew? When they renew, what's the add-on? What's the benefit if they buy it for a longer license? You have to put all of this down in the product or service. This is you breaking down the service. Because one, you know your company, you know your value that you can add. Two, you know the industry, you know the gaps in there. Three, you know the product or service you want to put in there. You know how it's going to benefit that particular set of people or that particular industry. So what's the next thing you do? You go to pricing. How much is it going to cost you? So let's say you are going to go into weddings. You want to add a specific value to it, which is what? You shoot their event, you're going to provide them with a huge frame, a 5 feet frame, glass. You make sure you get it within 48 hours after the event to the client. Or you want to package in a way where you have a branded flash drive, or you have a frame and a box with a branded flash drive whatsoever. The question is, how much is it going to cost you to get these things done? Once you know how much it's going to cost you, the next thing is, what's the profit margin? How much profit am I thinking of getting out of this? So the profit margin you are forecasting, let's say you want to get like 20% of a profit margin. So if you are selling if the product costs you like $100, then you probably sell it for somewhere around $120 in order to get your 20%. So these are some of the calculations. Now you also look at the revenue streams, which is necessary, because you are looking at how do you get the best possible revenue from this. So let me give you a scenario. You start shooting all these events, guys. You shoot their spaces. They pay you, but you give them a discount. That's one revenue stream. What's the other revenue stream? You can use these same images to create a blog post talking about event spaces available in your area. Let's say Accra. You are looking at event spaces in your area. One, you are using your images, and your images have some good keywords in there that traces back to your portfolio, that traces back to your website. Two, you have a lot of people reading your blogs, because once they want to think about planning their event, planning their weddings, they go online, search wedding or event spaces in Accra or Toronto. Then the next thing is that your blogs show up. They read through it, they see some of your stuff, they click on a link or two in there that leads them to your website or leads them to your social media platform. They see your weddings, they go like, wait, I think I like this photographer. So it's you drawing traffic, which is another way of generating revenue. So you have to look at the service and look at the product and see how many revenue streams this particular product is going to bring you. Just to check on you guys, I hope everyone is there, everyone is safe, because I can't hear or I can't see anyone typing. So if you're okay, you just type okay in the comments. Let me see if everyone is there. I hope I've not lost everyone. So far, any questions that you want to ask, or should I keep calling names of people? Oh, they are okay. Or they are busy with their pens and papers, so they are not really minding me. They are like, mind your business. Oh, nice. I hope I'm dropping some gems in there. I'm dropping some Easter eggs in there for everyone. So that's the pricing of the revenue. You are looking at the cost structure of the service or the product you want to bring in. You are looking at the profit margin, how much profit you are focused on getting. Sometimes you have a business plan, you don't want to also push the profit margin so much. That's one thing you should know, because you are getting into a new business. So try and then make sure, remember, be smart about whatever you put on paper. Don't say you want to get 125% interest. Oh, see, Wi-Fi is showing up in here. Don't say you want to get 125% interest when you just started a business that you have to even find a way of getting into it. So make sure it's realistic, somewhere between 10, 15, 20%. It's okay. Maximum 30%. That's fine. That's fantastic. Unless you are really sure about your particular industry or the service that you are bringing in. The next thing that we should focus on is your target audience. So someone says they are focused like a prime lens. This one is what, f1.2 or f0.95. Now this next one is the target audience. What is the customer segment you are looking at? Sometimes we fall into the trap of saying that We are starting photography. Everyone should call us. Everyone should call us for a gig. No, you need to be conscious. It's just like networking. You don't go out into the space, or you don't go on Facebook, or you don't go anywhere and then say that I want to be friends with everybody. No, you have to be conscious of it. You all know the kind of people that we want to attract. So let's say your focus is on luxury. You want to attract the Beverly Hills, East Legon kind of people. How are you going to structure that service? How are you structuring your business in order to attract those kind of people? Maybe yours is about quantity. You want a lot of people. You want to shoot 200 weddings in a year. You want to shoot 400 weddings in a year. So you are targeting a wide range. Then you have to be specific. That is my target segment, which means that it's going to affect things like pricing and all of those things. So what kind of customer segment are you focusing on? Something like let me give a scenario. You're focusing on headshots. Are you focusing on corporate people? Is that your customer segment? Is it corporate people? Are you focusing on people within a specific industry? Maybe you want to shoot headshots for people in the medical industry. You want to shoot headshots for people in the finance industry, finance sector, banks. You have to be very specific on it. It has to be measurable so that you'll be able to say there are 200 banks. Now, by the end of the year, I'm shooting for 150 banks, which means I am shooting for about 75% of the banks in your particular locality. That is good. That's something you can measure. Now, you also have to look at the demography, like what is the level of income of the target audience? Are you looking at people who are earning between $80,000 to $100,000 a year, or 50,000 to 70,000 cedis a year? What's your target? You have to be specific on these kind of things. Push yourself. Look, you'll be surprised that once you have all these things on paper, it gives you a clear, conscious direction. You're looking at age group. If you want to go into senior photography, you want to look at maybe age between 18 or 16 to 22, or you're looking at older people, you're looking at 25 to 30, or you're looking at senior people between 45 to 60. What is the kind of demography you are looking at? Which kind of people do you think can buy this particular product? Maybe you are going into printing of high quality images. You're selling it per frame. So you're targeting people who are old enough to appreciate print. You're looking at 50-year-olds, 55-year-olds, 60-year-olds. They are not social media people who want pictures on their phone just to post on IG or Facebook whatsoever. They are people who appreciate prints on the wall. These are the kind of people you are targeting. That in its own way gives some specific features to the product or the service that you want to render to them. So you have to be clear on these things. Now, remember, we've spoken about your company, we've spoken about the market, we've spoken about the product, we've spoken about the revenue streams, and then now we are talking about the target audience. So you see how we are hitting every point in there. The next part we are going to look at, which is the marketing strategy. I know this is a huge topic. I'm not even sure I can scratch enough of the surface, but let me scratch as much as we can. What is the marketing strategy you want to use? How will you get these guys you're talking about? You're talking about getting the millionaires or billionaires. How will you get them? Or you're talking about getting these high school people to purchase your product, or these university students to purchase your product, or these corporate guys who are always in the office, hot shot, always working. How do you get these guys to purchase your product? Or you're looking at these newborn moms to purchase your product. How do you get them to do that? There are a number of methods, I'm going to say a few here. I want everyone right now, there are about 7 people right here in the live session. I want you guys to put there, what are your marketing strategies to acquiring new clients? The first method that comes to my mind, which I believe is one of the best methods, is referrals. Referrals, that's like one of the easiest, cheapest methods that I've ever known in terms of marketing strategy. Word of mouth. Someone, a client, or someone you know taking you out there. It normally starts when we start business of photography, because you have people that you know, like your cousins, your mom, your dad, or people you work with, always giving word of mouth that, oh, I know this guy that I work with in the office. He's a good photographer. He can take your weddings for you, or he can shoot your event for you, or he can shoot your naming ceremony or your headshot. I know this guy, or I know this girl. It's always like that. I know this man, I know this woman, I know this lady. Word of mouth, referral. That is why it's key that once you start business, you start with some level of ethics and honesty, that people are able to commit themselves into approving you as a business person. Now, let's go into an advanced referral system, which are, a lot of people call evangelism, or marketing evangelism, or evangelical marketing. Now, this is not a religious thing. This actually means that people who will take it upon themselves, that they believe in you so much that they are willing to spend their time to market you. They go like, I love what you are doing. I love your pictures. I will make sure that everyone gets to know about you. And that is key. That is a level of referral you want to get to, where people take it upon themselves to evangelize your business for you. And these guys don't take a penny. You can talk about these evangelical marketers as, for instance, people who do tech reviews on YouTube. At the beginning, they just love the iPhone so much that they want to pick up the iPhone and tell everyone that, look at this iPhone. This is fantastic. Or you have people who all love their football club so much that they become evangelical marketers. They go on Facebook and say, Arsenal is a great club. Chelsea is a great club. Manchester United is a great club. Or Real Madrid, Barcelona. These are evangelical marketers. Most of them don't even get paid, but they love it so much. You want people to love your images and your work so much that they become evangelical marketers. How many of you haven't heard of Danny Diamond, or haven't heard of people like Tim Tada, or all these hotshots? If you're in Ghana, you've heard people like Sauce, you've heard Ghana, evangelical marketing. So I don't know if anyone is new to this particular term, evangelical marketing, but that is the level of referral you want to get to. Another form of marketing strategy could be social media. Social media, the first one that comes to my mind always is Twitter, because of the algorithm, the organic way of reaching people, staying on top of issues. For instance, you have most of these companies out there, and what they do is to go with the trend. So they speak about issues, about trends. Maybe you are not into that kind of thing. For instance, I remember in 2016, actually, I began to embrace the whole idea of Black Lives Matter, and then understood where the perspective was going to come from in terms of marketing. So you look at it from that point, and then you go like, wait, there is actually an opportunity here to contribute to something which is happening and still have it as a part of your marketing strategy. So I came up with a project which was the natural hair project, where I actually I had about 86 people in a WhatsApp group where they were all natural hair people, both men and women. And the whole idea was to shoot them in different settings. So some of the settings that I shot was a studio setting, just to show the beauty of it, the skin, the melanin. Another one was a corporate shoot, just to show different kinds of profession with natural hair. Another one was the artistic side, where I was focusing mainly on issues that has to do with creating art, seeing your blackness as a form of artwork. Another scenario was to attribute it to emotions, the emotions of Black people. So I had all of these concepts planned, but it was around a trending issue. And that was the same time things like Beyonce's formation came about, Kaepernick's issue of kneeling came about, and then there were a lot of brutalities out here in the US as well. So it was more like you get into the point where you pick the strategy according to social media trends. So you see, some of these things that we don't pay focus on, or we don't pay too much attention on, is the same thing that draws to us the kind of attraction that we need. So you guys put it in there, the various strategies. Remember, as I said from the beginning, this is a discussion and everyone is supposed to contribute. So what are the other marketing strategies that you guys think you have out there? One thing that I've also seen from a lot of wedding photographers is using the Instagram stories to show their passion or the fun that they have with their clients. So you have one of them being Clay Kofi, who always goes on the Instagram stories and then posts a video with their client, and then they scream his tagline, "Oh yeah," you know, stuff like that. You always have Focus and Blair going on there to have a live session with their clients, show the vendors all around. All these are marketing strategies, because once they show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 vendors, they tag them, the vendors reshare, people get the attraction to them, they go back onto their IG, they see their images. So these are all conscious marketing strategies people are using till date. You may have thought that the normal strategy would have been the traditional one, where people go in cold emails, cold calls, call, or say things like go on Facebook ad to say, "I am a photographer, book me for a service." All those traditional systems also work, but you have to also look at the modern approach. And the modern approach is just putting it in the psychological mind of the people you want to attract. So sometimes people get attracted to your personality and they book you because of your personality. I know a friend of mine right now who has received like a number of bookings because their clients just like the way he dresses. So anytime he's dressed up, he takes a video of it, put it on there, tags his link in there to his portfolio. People go check it out, and then they go like, "Look, I like this guy. I like the way he appears, and I love his work too. So I'll book him for that because I know he's going to be decent on his set." These are all stuff that you have to look at for marketing strategy. Over the coming days, there'll be a number of videos that talk in depth about marketing strategies, cold calls, cold emails, how to attract agencies, and all of that. Yes, Kofi, everyone is hiding here. So these are all marketing strategies that you need to use. Sometimes it's just as much as sharing your knowledge to people, letting people understand the diversity that you have. Sometimes your marketing skill is just the mere fact that you are helping other people. You are helping other photographers build their business. So that word of mouth that I said always becomes a part of it, where they go out and say that Evans taught me photography, and I'll always be indebted to Evans. So anywhere they go, and then they ask them, who taught you this particular skill that you have? Your name is always going to come out, and that is free marketing for you. So all these strategies are things that you have to figure out for yourself. We'll go into a question and answer session where you'll be able to talk about all this. I'm sure probably I'll have one or two people join me on here for us to answer various questions. So Evans or Ganani, I don't know if you guys are available. I'll be sending out the link and then you can join in here for a question and answer session. The next one is look at the competitive landscape. This is key. You don't just go into an industry or you go into a category and then you think that you are the boss. There are people who are always there before you showed up. The first thing I always do is when I get to a particular spot, the first thing I do is I always check out who are the top 5 photographers out there in that particular locality that I'm in. So for instance, when I got to Sacramento, I checked out the top 5 in terms of the various aspects, like on social media, who is the top gun? Who are people really following a lot on social media when it comes to photography in Sacramento? Secondly, I go to commercially, like who is the best commercial photographer out here? Just to peg their works, to see the kind of works they do. The third one is you go, who is the most respected? You can ask, word of mouth, like you ask, who is one photographer that impresses you most out here? All this information, make sure you get top 5 from different diverse categories that you would like to go into. Now, afterwards, you sit back and analyze these top 5. You look at what are they doing that attracts people to them. Maybe it's their customer service. Maybe it's the quality of their work. Maybe it's their personality. All of these things, you have to make sure that you understand them, and then you compare it to your executive summary. That's your unique value proposition. That's what you have to do. You compare it to them and say, do you have most of the things that they have? And what do you have more than them? So that you can use whatever you have more than them to influence the market in order to draw the market to you. So you do that for your local setup, and then you do that for your national setup as well, because you don't want to peg yourself to be a local champion. Local champion is someone who is only known in their locality, but when they go outside, they are mediocre in a way. So you don't want to be known as a local champion. You want to peg your brand in a way that it suits your locality, the nationality, and then internationally, it suits everyone over there. So those are the things you have to look at. After looking at the competitive landscape and all of that, then you can look at financials. Now, as I said, we are not going to look at financials just like we look at any other business plan, where we are going to focus a tad on looking at forecast and all of those blah, blah, blah. We are just looking at the financials in just these 3 aspects, which is how much money do you need to implement that service? How much money do you need to be able to pay other vendors? And if you are not really in a position, or what happens if you don't have that money? What are the alternatives? Will you be able to go into some kind of agreement with vendors? Let's say you are printing frames for old people. Can you go into a contract agreement with vendors where they give you a huge discount for some of your services, or where you refer people to them for a commission? Remember, we talked about revenue streams. Always try as much as possible to see the opportunity, but not to take advantage of people. So the financials, you don't have to think a ton about it. So as I said, I'll just go quickly up to see if we forget everything out. So the executive summary, we said, so for now, whilst we are here, let me just copy the link and then put it out there in the feed. So we said for executive summary, you talk about the business proposition, you talk about yourself, you talk about how much you can add value to the business you are going into. And then when it comes to the market opportunity, you are looking at things like what's the gap in the current industry and how much or what kind of products will you be able to use to fill the industry. And then when you look at the product or the service, you are looking at things like the features and the benefits of that product or service. Then you go to pricing, that's the cost structure on what are the revenue streams and what profit margin are you looking at. Then you look at target audience. The target audience, you are looking at your customer segment. Who do you want to attract? What kind of demography was their age group? Was their level of income? What kind of region do you want to look at? You put all of that there. Then you look at how do you attract this particular target audience that you're looking out for. That becomes what? Your marketing strategy. Then whilst you want to attract these people, you should know they're already tied to some group of people or some photographers. What are these photographers having that attracts these people to them? And what do you have better than they do that can take them away from that? Then once you are done with that, you look at your financials that you're looking at. How can you fund this particular service? How can you be able to pay vendors? And if you're unable to pay vendors, what is the way that you'd be able to get them to support this? So technically, those are the seven. Is it seven? Yeah. The 7 areas that you want to look out for when it comes to that. Did I miss anything? I think it was supposed to be 8, right? So I missed competitive landscape on this slide. So I'll just fix that before I share this slide for everyone. So guys, the link is in there if you want to join the conversation. The link is in there. You click in. Let's do a quick question and answer section. If you guys have any questions too, you can put it in there in the comment section, and let's just take the next few minutes to discuss any question that you guys have. Then I'll quickly add the competitive landscape to this. We don't want to leave anyone out. So guys, let me know. I'm still waiting. Ghananier, Evans, Freedom, anyone at all who want to jump on. So we have a quick question and answer section. Are you guys saying nobody has any questions? That's strange. So my teacher used to tell me something that once you are done with a presentation and then nobody has any questions to ask, there are 2 things involved. It's either you did a very good job or you did a very terrible job. And let's say because I'm too proud and arrogant about myself, I'll take it that I did a good job. I did too much of a good job that there was no need for anyone to ask questions, which will be a big lie. So guys, I still see 8 people here. in the chat. What do you think so far? What's your understanding of things that we've discussed? What can you add to it? Is there a particular side that you want us to go over a little bit? We know it's a Sunday. We don't want to spend the whole time here. Yeah, so Michael is about to join in. And then we'll have a quick Q&A session, I believe. All right, so let me just put this in here quickly, and then I join Michael. Competitive landscape. I hope I'm not losing anyone. Okay. So I'm going to bring Michael in. Hello.
Yo, am I audible? Can you hear me?
Can you guys hear Michael?
Oh, this guy has come. Hello, guys.
I don't know if I'm having an issue. If you can hear Michael. Yeah, Kofi, I'm going to address your question right now.
Can you guys hear me?
So Kofi says that what if there are opportunities but business is cut off by gatekeepers who stick with their clicks?
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, you guys can hear Michael?
Okay, all right. So I think what
okay.
Kofi put there.
Yeah, Michael, I think there is a harm. There is a harm in there.
From my side?
Yes, from your side.
Oh, so now you can hear that thing I talked about the other time, that when I have my power plugged in. Hold on, let me check.
Now we can hear you. Your ghosts have come to pass. So Kofi's question is that what if there are opportunities but business is cut off by gatekeepers who stick with their clicks? That's exactly what I was saying, that one, if you really want to break into that particular side of that industry, then it's not just about knowing about the market, you should also know about the clicks themselves. The first question you should ask yourself is, why are they sticking with their clicks? What are the clicks providing them? To be honest with you, you can't convince everyone. Your sole purpose is to convince as many people as you can, but you can't convince everyone. But then if you are able to know what these clicks provide, or these particular photographers provide, and why people stick with them regardless of how much they are charging them. Maybe they are overcharging them. They are probably charging them 10 times what you want to charge. But then they still want to stick with them. why are they providing, or why are they giving this level of loyalty to these people? That is something that you have to look out for and see whether you can also build this kind of loyalty when it comes to you. So whilst we wait, I don't know if Michael, you fixed your stuff yet.
I'm still trying to fix it. I don't know if it's better now. But
all right. So any other person who wants to jump on can jump on. Kofi, I don't know if we've been able to address your issue a bit.
Okay, you know what? Hold on. Let me just plug the lapel instead of this guy.
Okay. Please plug it. So sometimes it's hard. I remember there was a client that I wanted to shoot their wedding, and I was charging a very small amount of money, but then they still decided to stick with someone who was charging them about 4 times the amount. And after doing a bit of digging, I realized that it was because they went to the same high school with this photographer, and regardless of how much he was charging, they were still going to pay. So that definitely tells you that's a lost cause. You don't need to fight over stuff like that. But then when you have people having a huge percentage of the market, then it's probably not because they know everyone they are working with. It's probably because they are doing something better than everyone else. So you digging into what they do can even be sometimes mimicking what they do and adding your value proposition to theirs in order to say that, look, what this person is doing, I do the same and I do it more, I do it better. That's value adding. So yes,
all right.
although
Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you clearly now.
Awesome. I've changed them. I think then there's a problem with my condenser mic. Now I'm using this boom mic, and it seems to be working better.
Yeah, it works really good. So Kofi,
Okay,
although you want to go for people that they don't work with, they are holding a large part of the market. So get those they don't work with and also get part of those they work with. Exactly. So I think, yeah, working on your value is one of the things that you can do that. And also sometimes it's about networking. So marketing strategies that we were talking about, networking is also one of the key things. Do you go to some of the events that you can meet these people? So I for one, I love arts events a lot. If Ghana will remember, every arts event I I texted him and I was like, are you going for this? Because you always
Yeah,
show
that's
up and then yeah, you meet new people and then you get into spaces that you've not been into. Some of us, look, I'm in Sacramento. I've not been to any school here. So imagine who's going to tell me that I'm his classmate whatsoever, so I should come and shoot for him. It won't happen. So if you go to these events, you meet them. If you get on social media, you go on these Facebook groups, you meet all of these guys out there. I mean, I don't know. Gary, what do you think so far? Are we getting a 2021 photography business plan from you?
The business plan. Yes, I off my head, I have a couple of ideas that I want to work on next year. Let's say beginning next month. In terms of YouTube, and then I really want to pin this thing and then stop it so it stops breathing. But hold on, let me just do this. Okay, I think I've locked the focus now. Yeah, so going forward, I have some plans for YouTube and then plans for my photography business as well.
Yeah.
Now, I'm somebody putting things on paper isn't my thing. I prefer, running along.
Yeah.
So I have the ideas in my head, then I just run. But I think it's a good thing putting them on paper. That will help a lot of people because what I've noticed is most of the time I go off track
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have them on paper. So I'll encourage everybody, try as much as possible, put your ideas on paper. Now
Yeah.
I started doing something. Say, here I have my notes on my phone, and mostly it happens that when I'm idle, that's when I get ideas. Or when I'm sitting in a trusky going somewhere, there's traffic, or people are making noise in, and then I decide to just close my eyes. That's when I get ideas. And then most of the time, these ideas come, and I'm like, oh, brilliant idea. When I sit behind my machine to record, all those ideas, they just vanish like
Vanish.
as if I had no idea. So I decided, okay, in those times, I'd rather write them here. So if you look at my notes, I have YT ideas board. See,
Yeah.
these are I don't know if you guys can
No, it's
see
because
or
you
my
lock their
screen.
focus. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, but then you can see I have some lots of notes over here. So, guys, try making use of your technology, your phones, not just
Yeah.
for WhatsApping
I
and all
think I
that.
do
I
the
have,
same thing too. So if you look here, look,
you see,
YouTube,
that's it.
5 ways. And then I also use my memo as well because sometimes typing becomes difficult. So I just
Mhm.
use the voice memo, all of this. I use the voice
Okay,
memo and then I just record. I record the
okay.
idea and then I put it down.
I use the notes to, and then it syncs to my MacBook. So once I sit behind my MacBook, I know that okay, then I alter them and all that. Also, the same thing when I'm recording videos, I am not good at scripting. I want everything to flow, like as I retouch, the things just come. So it won't be like, oh,
Yeah.
you've rehearsed it and all that. But then I just put the points on my
On
phone
the
in my
yeah.
notes pad. Then I just go along. So yes, take notes, Charlie. If you prefer writing, fine. I don't like carrying books and stuff with me. Once
Yeah.
I have this, everything is here. I can write everything down. And then one thing also, what Kofi said about the clicks. I'm still in that event pros group, and it works there 100% clicks. If you don't belong to any of the clicks, they won't even mind you.
Yeah.
Somebody needs a photographer. You're the only one available. But because you don't belong to their clique, Charlie, forget it. You won't get it. Even if they ask, oh, any photographer available for so and so job. I think I've gotten about 3, 4 jobs from there, like that kind of impromptu thing. But
Mhm.
because they have their clique, now I went to do the job, all right, they were satisfied. But because they have their own clique, and maybe that day the particular photographer who was supposed to shoot wasn't available, I got it. But even though I've satisfied them, maybe beyond their expectation, they will still not give you subsequent jobs because they already have somebody in their clique. So it's difficult breaking through those. And he likes to tell you, I've asked him that, Charlie, let's form our own clique. Let's start. Let's come together. Let's get some decor people who are also starting up. Let's get some caterers. Let's start. Then we'll be tagging ourselves and all that. We'll also get our click.
That's
You
true.
get it? So Kofi,
And
the click there, it's everywhere. Everywhere.
and one thing that I would say is people are scared of breaking into cliques. This the way I break into cliques. What I do is 2 ways. Let's say there's a photography clique, all right, and then I want to break into it. The first thing I do is to find all of the people involved in that clique, and then you look closely at all of them. There's always a few people in that clique that are not getting everything that the clique is providing.
The weak links.
Yeah, I don't want to call them the weak links because maybe they have stronger stuff that the clique like. That's why they are keeping them around. You understand?
Mm.
But then one of the things that I do is follow someone on IG, one, like their work, and actually DM them about their work. So some of the ways I get into the minds of people is to actually appreciate their work and say, look, I've looked through your gallery. I love your work. Some of the favorite pictures that I've seen on your page are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you tell them. So it sounds personal to them. You understand? And then you ask them, can you also look through my work and then tell me the ones that you like? You do that. Another way that I also do is sometimes I share their work on my stories. After I've appreciated them in their DM, I share their work on my stories and then I tag them. Naturally, psychology will let them also reshare that story. And when they reshare, remember, it's a click. So once they reshare, other members in the clique begins to ask questions like, hey, who is this guy that this person just shared their work? And then they start checking. Then the ripple effect starts. You might have 1 or 2 people saying that, look, guy, your work is really good. I really like your work, or stuff like that. Or especially the fact that maybe that's the gang leader of the clique saying that, oh, you guys should check out Ghanaian's work. When they check out your work, they want the gang to know they checked your work. So sometimes they drop a comment to say, I love your work. I love this image. They might find 1 or 2 images that they really like. And then you reply and say, oh, I also checked out your work. It's fantastic. Maybe if you have a time, we can do a collabo. Or maybe if you have a time, I can help you on an assignment. Sometimes you have to sacrifice something. And there are only 2 things you can sacrifice in this world. It's your time or your money, or both. If you don't sacrifice any of these 2, you won't gain what you, and that's why I always say that the conscious approach to these things. You don't just do things because you feel like doing it. You do things because you feel there's some value that you get. And someone will only join you to do that thing if they feel that they also get some value. We are all selfish human beings. As smart, anyhow you want to put it, we are selfish human beings. We look at ourselves first before we look at the other person. So all these are marketing strategies that are indirect. You understand? The direct ones are there. The direct one is when I send a proposal and say that this is my service. This is what I can do for you. Check out my work and then give me the job. That's the direct one. The indirect one is getting into the psyche of people so that it stays there. You stay in their mind for a long time. There was a wedding client that I got in 2018. What she did was she asked me for my rate and everything. I gave her the rate and voila. She said she can't afford me, so full stop. That's the end of the bid. Guess what I did? The next day I went on WhatsApp and then I asked her, oh, I was thinking about your wedding. And then I made this checklist that you can go through so that you can have a successful wedding. And then I put wedding planner, cake maker, decor designer, wedding gown. And then I made a list of all these things. And then I sent it to her that there's a checklist that I think you should go through so that you can prepare quickly for your wedding. If you want people you can look out for in these categories, I can what do you call it? Propose a few names to you. She asked about 5 categories, and then I gave her like 3 options of each of the 5 she should check out. Guess what? She picked from all the categories I sent her. I didn't get to shoot her wedding, but guess what I got to shoot? The people that she hired, when she went to them, she said, oh, I got a recommendation from Catalyst. I got a recommendation from Catalyst, and these were big names. So the next thing they did was they went on IG, found my number, and then said, oh, this person said you recommended me to them. Wow, I've never really worked with you, and I really appreciate that. Are you available on this day, on that day? I got 3 different jobs from the job I
From
didn't
that
get.
same thing.
And they all paid for my biggest packages because these particular vendors were big vendors. So you see that indirect approach.
Mhm.
That's a value that I propose to them. And genuinely, I didn't feel hurt because they didn't come for me. I felt the opportunity to show that empathy that, okay, I'm in their shoes. This is their big day. Can I help them to make it special? And then, boom, I ended up with 3 jobs. And these particular people, they always had it in their mind that what I helped them, right, to make their day good. When they gave birth to their firstborn, I shot the naming ceremony. Until now, I chat with the family like, oh, how is everything going? How are you guys? And all of that. You are building a clientele. You are not just building a one-off job. And that's how people build these gatekeepers. So right now, let's say I'm in Ghana, and then I tell these people, oh, I'm in Ghana for the next 6 months. You know what's going to happen, right? If they have any jobs, they'll push it to me. And then I become a gatekeeper. Unless I'm not there, you won't get the job.
Yeah.
And that's how we want to build their market strategy. You need to be indispensable unless you are not there. So far as Ghanaian is there, they are not going anywhere. Even if you are sick, they'll ask you, when will you get well?
They can postpone the thing. They can
Yeah.
freeze the dates until you
Because
are okay.
I know people that charge 12,000, 15,000 cedis for weddings. And clients book their dates according to their availability. But then how much do some people charge? 2,000, 3,000. And
And
then
still,
they still don't get a job. So those are some of the things. You have to treat your business just like Kempinski would treat their conference room. They'll tell you these are the available dates. So you have to use that date to plan your stuff. That's how you have to let people see your business. It should be a mix of luxury as well as making money. And for me, that's where I want us to get to. Guys, if you have the questions, Ghanania is here. Ghanania is a great photographer and content creator from Ghana, a good friend of mine. And guys, you remember at the beginning I was talking about the shop, that this is just an extension of the shop so that we can focus on 2021 together. Ghanania right here is the creator of the shop. And he has given the platform for a lot of people to have the chance to do the right things in terms of photography. So Ghanania, this is the shop virtual version. This is the virtual
and
version.
Nanaresh is here.
Hey, Prof. The Prof himself is here. Uh, I know Prof missed a lot
Professor.
of.
No, I think Nanaresh has gone beyond Prof. He's
Yeah,
the, how do they call these people?
he's
Vice
now a
Chancellor.
genius.
Yeah, Nanaresh is a Vice Chancellor.
He's a vice chancellor now. So, guys,
Yeah, he has
I
passed
know
Prof level.
we'll be rounding up very soon, but if you have any questions, we are here to answer in the next 5 minutes. It's been fantastic, and I'm really happy. Ghanania has been one of the people that has pushed me to get me to where I am right now in terms of content creation. And I'm so surprised that we've gotten to 105 subscribers, Ghanania. It's crazy. I never thought we'll get to that point that far or that quickly. We are in 105 Ghanania. It's
Yeah, I saw it. As soon as I
yeah.
opened this stream, I saw 104, and I was like, wow.
It's
That's fast. As I keep
really
saying,
fast.
it
Like,
all has to do with just the first step. Once you take the first step, forget about, oh, will people watch? Would I get people to subscribe? Would I get people to follow my content and all that? No, just
yeah,
start and everything else will come. You
yeah.
know.
It's crazy. Like 71 people in just a few days, and people actually are watching, and that's one of the things that surprises me the most. People are watching, because if you look at the analytics, and then you realize that you actually have people that watch your videos to the end,
Mhm.
then you begin to
That should
feel
tell you
like,
that what people
yeah,
are waiting for you. People are waiting for you at all. Nanaresh, you need to start. You have just about 1 week for the year to end. So, Charlie, add it to your New Year resolution that next year you're starting a channel. Nanaresh, and with the vast knowledge you have, you're
yeah,
very
it's
technical. I remember the first workshop, the first shop, Nanaresh was to just give a brief introduction to gears, like choosing, basic gear. This guy gave a whole lecture. It got to a point I wanted to like be like, Nanarej, please, these are starters. I beg, calm down small. But the people were enjoying it. That they said, oh, allow him, let him go. And he kept going. I was like, you need more than just 1 hour from a workshop to
yeah.
give that kind of lecture. So Nanaresh, please, that's an opportunity. Take it off. And Kofi says, well, the two of you also motivated me. My channel goes live today. Not
Oh
going to
wow.
wait for 2021. Kofi, that's it. That's it. You see, this is the spirit. This is what
I'm
I
telling
want. This
you.
is what I want. I want my people to win with me. Let's all win together.
Yeah,
When we are cashing out, we are cashing out together. You get it? Don't
and
wait for me to cash out before you start.
one thing that I also want to remind people of is we have a Facebook group, which is the business side of photography, question and answer, where you can always come there, and then if you have any question relating to the business side of photography, you'll be able to ask. Remember, we also have a mentorship system over there where you get a chance. What's Ghana need doing?
No, Evans was asking if it's some kind of, but this is just the Boya boom mic.
Oh, okay.
Evans, it's just an ordinary Boya boom mic. It has the dead cat thing over there for outdoor. So it's for Hector now, my assistant. So he left it for me to try it and see, and it's working so well. I think I'll start using it. I'll dog the condenser. So Evans, it's just an ordinary Boya boom mic. Yeah.
All right. So
Catalyst, Kofi
this,
says you should add a link in the description
yes. So the link is there.
of this video.
The link is there. We are trying as much as possible to focus that group on photographers, because the whole idea is to push the photography side of the business. Right now, we are at about 126 members. We want to grow as much as we can. There's a mentorship program as well on that side. Maybe I should just share it, right, Ganani? I should share the page so that
The
they
group
see.
link.
Yes, so the group link is there. And
Yeah, so I think what you should do is include it in all your videos.
yes, it's always there.
You should include that link in all your videos so that people can just it'll be easier for them to join.
Yeah. So we have a mentorship tab in there where you can sign on as a mentor, or you can sign on to seek for mentorship, where you pair you with an experienced person so that at the end of the day, that's someone that you can always check on. I am always available for the first 10 people. I'll make sure I take them on as mentees with no question. Unless you are Ghanaian, I'm probably not going to take you on if you are Ghanaian. But then there's
Which
already
kind of pressure be
someone
this?
who is signed on as a mentor. So if you need any help, you just put it there. These discussions as well, they are going to be there. We're going to continue from there, putting a few things on there. Go on there. Look, that is our a safe space. Our clients are not there. Our clients are not on the business side of photography. So you guys should go there, put whatever questions you have. If you have an issue with invoicing, if you have an issue with attracting clients, if you have an issue with photography itself, you're shooting good pictures, but you are unable to attract what you want to attract. Maybe you want to branch into a different type of photography. You want to branch into advertisement, all of that. Put it there. Let people help. It's our safe space. It's not public. It's a private group. So we are always going to be safe over there. So guys, I think that is it from me. If you guys have any question in the next 1 minute, you can ask. I really, really appreciate you guys coming out today for this live session. It's been fun. I don't think I've slept that much because I've always wanted to prepare and always give my all. God and he knows whenever I have a presentation, I take it like a World Cup because
Yeah, that's true.
if nobody gets the knowledge, it's a shame. I don't want to keep all the knowledge in my head. I'm not Google Drive, so I have to share the good news. Now remember, this is all part of the business side of photography. In 2021, these are some of the things that I'm going to do. I'm going to start with the photo tutorial side of it. We are going to focus on not lighting specifically. I know there are a lot of videos that talk about how to place light here, how to place light there, but this is an education channel. We are going to talk about light in terms of its importance in photography and how light resonates. Like, what is the meaning of low-key lighting? What is the perception that you want to depict when it comes to shadows? Colors, what kind of color for what? You see me in my cyan and then this. Why am I in this? Why is it creating that kind of contrast? It's what do we call it? Complementary colors. That's exactly what I've done here. Why do we call it that? All of those things, that's what we are going to delve deep into. And then we look at how to create, what's the difference between commercial, fashion, editorial, all of that. That's what we are going to do. So next year, 2021 is going to be a busy year for everyone. If you are on here, you are going to survive. You are going to make sure that you make it, whether you like it or not.
That's
So,
the
guys,
spirit.
guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate. So far, we have the top 5 people over here. Let me see if I can have an appreciation post for the last 5 standing. I'm still trying to figure out how this whole thing of live streaming goes. It's a struggle for me. I thought I was tech savvy, but
Don't worry. With time, you get used to it. With time, you get everything.
I hope so, because it's like hell. I need Evans to take me through a whole year of that. So guys, thank you so much. It's been fun. I hope to see you probably next week, because we are trying to see if we can do this live every weekend where we recap on all the videos that we put out there. So if you have any question and answers that you seek, we'll have it here. Sometimes we'll have it here. There are times where we'll see if we can go live on the group, the Facebook group as well, just to ignite that place a little bit. Let's see how it goes. But thank you guys. Share the word, share this video as much as you can. Always come back to it to pick what you want to pick up from here. And then you can always come back to it. I want to make sure this becomes more like an archive where you can always come back. Remember, you don't take just one day to write a business plan. Come back here, revisit it, see if you've gone through all the points correctly. And then next week, and I think what's next week's date? Next week will be on the 3rd. So it's either on the 2nd or on the 3rd we'll show up. But I'll make sure to see if 31st we have any number of people who have been able to do it. Remember, you always have my information. You can DM me if you need any clarification whilst you are preparing your business plan, and we can go through it. So thank you, Gananie, for showing up in this live session. I'll catch you. Don't go anywhere.
Yes, and thanks to everybody who has made it a point to be here. Thanks for sharing your time with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, so I'll see you guys in the next video. I really appreciate you guys. Bye.